Recently, Square Enix celebrated the 25th anniversary of their Dragon Quest Monsters series, a spin-off to, well, Dragon Quest. And at the end of the announcement, they confirmed a new entry was in development for the Switch, and it got me thinking, could this be the game that gives the modern era of Pokémon a run for its money? Hey, how's it going everybody? I hope you're all good. My name is Peter, and for this video, I'd like to talk about the newly announced Dragon Quest Monsters game in development for Switch. Before we get into this, I would like to give special credit to Lowell Bell from Nintendo Life for essentially beating me to it in terms of discussing this topic. I thought it was worth acknowledging, even if I was planning to talk about it in my own words either way. A link to the article will be in the description if you want to read about a similar take on the matter, but in different words. With that out of the way, let's get started. Despite never actually playing the Monsters series for myself, I have thoroughly enjoyed what I've played of the main series Dragon Quest games, and I'm aware that the Monsters games get frequently compared to Pokémon a lot, due to the monster recruitment element that they offer. I remember being vaguely interested in Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 for the 2DS when that originally came out, due to being fresh off of Dragon Quest IX at the time, but I guess I prioritised other games back then, so I never got around to checking it out in the end. Additionally, it is also apparent that the Switch era of Pokémon, particularly last year's Scarlet and Violet, has seen plenty of criticisms from fans and critics for a multitude of reasons, particularly the frequent release schedules resulting in an unpolished result in both the technical performance and visual departments. Many have also highlighted their frustrations with the fact that Pokémon, being the highest grossing media franchise of all time, is always guaranteed to sell tremendous amounts of copies regardless of their perceived critical and technical quality, meaning that Game Freak and the Pokémon Company don't particularly have an incentive to address these concerns, knowing that they'll do financially fine either way. It is precisely this situation that makes me believe that Square Enix has an ideal opportunity to appeal to this side of the Pokémon community that is disappointed with the current state of their beloved franchise, potentially winning them over with the new Monsters game so that they can get their monster recruitment fix outside of relying on Pokémon. Don't get me wrong, I'm not raising this point as an indicator that I want Pokémon to be overthrown, far from it. In the best case scenario, I want to see the new Dragon Quest Monsters title succeed, in the hopes that Game Freak and the Pokémon Company can see why it will hypothetically get compared favourably against their current efforts, so that they can take notes and see where they can improve the quality of Pokémon and get back on track with satisfying their more critical fans going forward. Heck, look at an existing example with Monster Hunter Stories 2. That was a spin-off to one of Capcom's flagship franchises with the monster recruitment aspect that I'd argue makes the most of the Switch's hardware limits to produce a vibrant art style that is gorgeous to look at while keeping the fun team-building aspect at its core. While it is true that the likes of Atlus's Shin Megami Tensei and Persona series have also got monster recruitment aspects that probably resemble Dragon Quest Monsters more closely, those franchises still have a more mature tone and audience in mind, which can alienate younger audiences that Dragon Quest will have an easier time appealing to, due to its much more cartoonish and light-hearted energy. After all, Akira Toriyama's distinct character designs have been such an integral part of the franchise's identity since the very beginning. In all fairness, you could argue that I'm comparing these games at a rather surface level, as monster recruitment itself is practically a subgenre of RPG, much like how we have tactical RPGs or action RPGs, and I probably don't have the most informed perspective due to not playing them for myself sufficiently, because I am aware that they have their fundamental differences. It's just that Pokémon is typically the main one that immediately springs to mind, and is why those unfamiliar with these other examples look at those other games and are likely to think, oh, it's kinda like Pokémon. Another big reason why this could be Square Enix's big chance is because the Dragon Quest franchise itself has seen a pretty big resurgence outside of Japan ever since the success of Dragon Quest XI. Despite being a cultural icon in Japan, it has somewhat struggled to stay mainstream in Western territories, but thanks to its 11's success, combined with events like the hero's inclusion in Smash Bros. And spin-offs like Dragon Quest Builders and Treasures seeing worldwide releases, it's the best position the series has been in for quite some time. Considering the backlash for Pokémon has been very vocal, the same critics could channel that energy into bringing publicity to the new Monsters game, which is also in a great position due to being on the same platform as Pokémon, urging people to treat it as an alternative. Plus, if we are going to be technical, Dragon Quest has already toyed with monster recruitment before Pokémon even existed, with 1992's Dragon Quest V allowing players to have monsters join the party. Before I even played Pokémon for the first time, I was already making fond memories with the Monster Arena side content in Dragon Quest VIII, one of my favourite aspects of that game, as it added a lot of replay value trying out different team combinations and seeing what works best in subsequent playthroughs. Sounds quite familiar to the replayability factor of Pokémon. So, with that being said, do I think this game will see Pokémon numbers in terms of sales? Absolutely not. But like we see with many games that sold millions, it's not always the most reliable indicator of a game's actual creative quality. For example, Earthbound's initial release in North America was a commercial flop due to its rather unorthodox marketing, yet ask many gamers today, now, that it has become available on the likes of Wii U's Virtual Console or Nintendo Switch Online, and it is often regarded as one of the greatest RPGs of all time in retrospect. I can see Dragon Quest Monsters doing decently well enough to attract the attention of those disappointed with Pokemon's current state, on top of the existing Dragon Quest fanbase. Overall, I'm really excited to hear more about this upcoming game, and hope it creates friendly competition with the reigning king of monster recruitment games, in the hopes that both series will be taken to new heights. The indie scene has also been getting all sorts of Poké-likes for the past couple of years, so it's obvious that there is interest for alternative takes on what the highest grossing media franchise has brought to the world of entertainment. As a fan of the mainline Dragon Quest games, I can't wait to see the new Monsters game get a full reveal, as the latest addition to my most anticipated upcoming games. Anyway, that just about does it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you're looking forward to hearing more about the new Dragon Quest Monsters, and whether you think it has a chance of resonating with Pokemon's fans and critics alike. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for all sorts of content on the world of Nintendo or other games of interest. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.